Thanks for joining in. Oh yeah, Chukwunogasai. Isaiah Bioma. Oh yeah, Chukwunogasai. Good evening, all. We'll start in a few minutes. Let's just wait and get more people on board. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome and welcome and welcome. Thanks for joining. I believe we are live on Facebook as well. And so we can start. Thanks all for joining. Please let us share. Let's share and get more people on board. Let's invite more people into the discussion. Thanks, sir. I see you there, Brother Larry. God bless you. Tech Molder, Emeka, Ugu. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for joining, Molder. God bless you. Thank you all for joining. Tonight's topic is marriage pandemic in diaspora. And I'm going to be focusing on United Kingdom. That is where I live. And that is where I can talk about. Because I understand the system. I'm in the system. And then we're looking at what are the challenges we are facing as couples, in today's marriage. What is happening? Why the marriage pandemic? When we use the word pandemic, we're simply saying that there is a rise in the rate of divorce in United Kingdom and actually in America as well, and relating to our people, Nigerian people, African people who have traveled from their base from their comfort zone to a country that is completely new to them. And then the word pandemic came to use because the rate at which the divorce and separation is quite alarming. And that's why the word pandemic, because it's spreading like cancer. And hopefully this message will go across to few people, a lot of people, and it will be able to help them manage their situation, manage their marriage, manage the challenges they are facing being in United Kingdom. And before I go on, I remain Ekene Modupe Adenichi, your host for Relationship Talk Show with Modupe. And please feel free at any point in time, anybody wants to share their view, share their opinion, share a story, something they know it's happening, and you want to talk about it. So just let me know and I'll give you audience on Facebook, on Zoom, and on TikTok. And remember, very soon we'll be going off Zoom permanently, but before the end of the year. So let us all try to migrate and get used to TikTok before then. Let us download TikTok on our phone if we don't have it and begin to find our way around it, begin to get used to it. Thank you, All Glory Cargo, for joining. Abula, thank you. And all other users that do not have a name, thank you all for joining. Eunice, thank you all. Well, it's beautiful. I have few Nigerians. Yeah, you can mute yourself for now, that's fine. We have few Nigerians here, so hopefully we'll all be able to contribute and talk about this pandemic and why. Why. I have few things I've noted down as the reason why, and it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. And the first one I want to look at is what we call culture shock. Culture shock is when you move into a new country or into a new society, a new group of people with different belief, different system of doing things, and it's all sudden to you. It's overwhelming. You don't know how to handle it. It's like, why are these people talking like this? Why do they believe in this? Why do they do this in certain way? It's all shocking to you. And if it's not well managed, if it's not well understood, there's going to be a problem. You're going to find yourself in a problem. For instance, if you are somebody who is used to being, you've been a teacher all your life, suddenly you find yourself in a place where you have to work as a cook or work as a salesperson, or hostess, from being somebody who dishes out authority and questions and command. Suddenly now you are on the receiving side where people have to tell you what to do, take the food to table 10, and no. If you do not manage that transition properly, you're going to have problem. You're going to struggle with your new job. You're going to struggle with so many things, and you could do mistake. You could abuse your office. You could rebel against the authority, and you might end up losing your job. So, using that example, why would you, as a person, struggle to adjust? Well, I believe strongly that it all has to do with the mind, your mindset. Now, you've not been able to accept the situation that I am no more a teacher. Now, things can change. I can go back to being a teacher at some point in my life. But right now, I am no more a teacher. Now, I'm a salesperson, or I'm a hostess in a restaurant or wherever. So the first thing is acceptance, accepting the changes around you. So if you are, before you even think of coming to United States of America or United Kingdom or to any other part of the world that is not home, you're leaving home and you're traveling out. As couples, I believe the greater thing You both need to sit down, do a lot of thinking, analyzing, and making up your mind, about things, what you're going to do, and about possible changes that you might need to make, or that will automatically happen. And you both also have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to make those changes. It's not about the man or the woman, it's about the both of you together. Understanding that you're going to a new land where you probably don't even have any family, or you don't even have any friends. You're leaving your community entirely. So there has to be proper understanding. And you also need to begin to prepare your mind for that change. There is a saying that says, when you are in Rome, you behave like a Roman. When you are in Nigeria, you behave like a Nigerian. When you go to another country, you already automatically need to prepare your mind that you have to make changes. That is the greatest point for me. That is the greatest reason that I believe has caused a lot of problems in marriages. A lot of people see the opportunity that, oh, we are traveling out of the country, and they've not really put things in prospect. They've not been able to analyze, the challenges they may face, and be able to prepare themselves for that change. And so they come into the country with high expectations, probably from what maybe some of us will come back to Nigeria and we spend money lavishly. They don't know, perhaps maybe we took a loan to come and spend the money lavishly, or we have saved over time to come and spend that kind of money. And they believe, oh yeah, abroad is sweet, let us go. And then they come and find themselves in that situations, find themselves struggling even to get a job, find it so challenging, to put food on the table, to pay. By the time you pay so many bills, you begin to struggle, and they're like, what's going on? What's going on? So the greatest thing that I believe is the cause of the marriage pandemic is the lack of ability to adjust our mindset. So it is important, whoever is listening out there, if there's somebody needs this message, do share it to them during the program or after the program. Encourage someone, and you might be saving a marriage from collapse. So the mindset has to be changed. I am not in Nigeria anymore. I am in UK. How do people in UK survive? Now, one of the things you need to understand about your mindset is this. If you program your mindset to accept the change, automatically every other thing will fall in place. You'll be able to accept that, number one, you don't beat children here. We discipline children, big time, but not the physical one that can be seen on their body or can be called physical abuse. There are so many other measures in disciplining a child without actually being physical. That will be easy for you to adjust if you accept the change. Now, I gave birth to my children here, and even then it took me a while to adjust to that. It took me a long while, actually, even though I had them here. So I'm not just talking, I'm also talking from lived experience. You need to understand that in UK, it's not about just me, the husband, bringing the money. If you are lucky to have a good job and you're making so much money that you can pay all the bills, and your wife can be a full-time housewife, oh, beautiful. But it is very rare. It is very rare. So you need to also adjust your mindset that maybe while back home, your wife was not working. You need to understand now that you're in UK, there is the possibility by 90% or 100% that she might be working, or she has to work. You need to ask questions about before coming to Nigeria, before leaving Nigeria, before going to any other part of the world, either United Kingdom or America, wherever, you need to find out. You need to find out what am I going to face? What am I going to face? What challenges am I going to face? And the people who have been there, how have you people survived? How have you survived? How have you been able to manage things? So that will help, in your journey in the long run. That is the biggest thing for me. Your mindset. Your mindset. Your mindset. And when you come in here, you see things, you need to accept things. If you refuse to accept the changes, if you refuse to accept the way things are done here, then you're gonna struggle with every other thing. You're gonna struggle with your wife. You're gonna struggle with your husband. You're gonna struggle to manage the children. You're gonna struggle with work. You're gonna struggle even with food. This is you also need to adjust that maybe peradventure where you are living in the part of United Kingdom or America, wherever you may be, maybe it's not a place where you can easily get African food. So you need to adjust to that as well, that you might not be able to get hot meal like that every morning. You might not be able to get your rice and beans, yam and beans, and the normal food you have for breakfast back home. You might not be able to get ogi and akara. So you need to begin to adjust to what is the food that is being eaten here for breakfast. What is called lunch here, what is called dinner here. So whatever life you've had back home, when you get to another part of the world, you are learning. It's a new learning curve for you. You are learning in a new way. You have to open your mind. You have to be ready to delete some things from your mind, to delete some things you've learned from your forefathers, from your mothers, from your neighbors. You need to learn something new because you are in a new place entirely. I'm going to pause there before I go to the next point I have down. If anybody wants to contribute to tonight's topic, either on TikTok or Zoom, on why we are having marriage pandemic in marriage pandemic in diaspora. Anybody wants to drop in their 2 cents? Molder, do you want to
Yeah,
come in?
just a sentence. This is Emeka.
Okay,
Hello.
sir. Yeah, I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me?
you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I think your focus is mainly on United Kingdom and America, isn't it?
Well, that's the place I know a little bit about, so that's why.
All right. Okay. No, I just want to broaden the scope a little bit.
Mhm.
Yesterday, I was watching Russia Today on television. Excuse me, please. And there was a documentary about marriage in Africa,
Okay.
and the focus was Egypt. And statistically speaking, young people, a large majority of them no longer want to get married, male and female. And in terms of statistics, 60% of marriages fail now
Hmm.
in Egypt. 60% for a Muslim country, traditional Muslim African country. That's quite high.
Hmm.
So perhaps the world we live in is changing, not just Europe. But when you want to focus on why our divorce rate very high among ethnic minority people, like Africans who come over here, or sub-Saharan Africans, Nigerians, Ghanaians, and even recently Kenyans.
Hmm.
There's no doubt that there's a different social setting that they are coming into, whereby they used to see themselves as the weaker sex. Okay? And we must admit that many women in Africa put up with any kind of nonsense in their marriage because primarily, where do I go from here? I have no means of livelihood. I won't be able to maintain this lifestyle. My social standard will fall. But then they come in here and they say, what? The reverse is the case. I can actually evict the man if I want to. If I feel bored, I can evict the man. And I'm not just making this up. I'm actually trying to fundraise for a friend who died recently. And why was he evicted by his wife in his own house? He had stroke 11 years ago in Nigeria. We managed to return him here. A year later, just after he started making some progress, the wife chucked him out. Why? The woman said, it's not that he's done anything bad to me. It's not that he's keeping girlfriends. It's just that I'm bored with him. I'm fed up. I've had enough. I don't want him any longer. After this guy had brought over the mother to live in this country, brought her over first, brought the mother over, brought the brother over, who entered a seminary to become a Catholic priest, and training the guy, suddenly he had a stroke and he was no longer wanted, So the culture shock is there. The cultural difference plays a huge role because women are more protected here. Either by law or by perception, women get the upper hand. Okay. Now, you must have seen many videos flying on the social media. One girl saying, oh, my friend was advising me, leave your husband, you will get everything you want, you will get help with your children. These are small factors, but they play a huge role in the mindset of women. There are litany of stories. Okay. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the fault lies with the female gender. The fault also is with the male gender because many of our men have got used to being the stronger partner from the traditional setting in Africa, not realizing that mindsets change. Human beings are changing. You're no longer in that same cultural background where you started. You're now in a different country. So they don't make that quick transition to realize that no, things have changed. So it's not really something that is down to one gender or the other. It's all in it. Now, I don't know where we are in this discussion because I'm going to hit the road now. But I hope I can make more contribution when it comes to what will be the solution. I would like to hear actually what should be the solution to this. So I'm going to hit the road now, and at the other end, I will rejoin you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much. That's an example of what is happening, and that's a life story. But then, from your story, sir, I will tell you this: in relationship, you don't get the full story, except the man has told you his own part. You don't know before the woman will say, "I've had enough." You don't really know what has happened, and when anybody wants to explain, oh, this is what happened in Mama, this is what he did, this is what I did. Everybody wants to make their own part of the story sound very nice and convincing. But another thing I know about women is this. Now, of course, we have different categories of women, but generally speaking, before a woman, it means she has really had enough. Now, when they were back in Nigeria, how was the woman being treated? That plays a lot. How was she treated? A lot of women, like you said, will feel whatever he dishes at me, I'll just take it because I don't have anywhere to go. So coming here, they now have choice. Back home, they didn't have financial freedom. They could not stand on their own, so they are more dependent on you. Even though there are some women who, even back home, the man was still depending on them. But the majority that much, you know. So while you are the boss, even probably you don't even have any money. It was a movie, but these are things that happened in real life where the man didn't have money. He came home expecting the woman to produce food because she has a shop she's running. Bring my food. And the woman is like, did you give me money for food? Long story short, he beat the woman black and blue because the woman could not produce food. Now, if such a woman keeps quiet for the sake of marriage or for the sake of stigma, I don't want to be called a single mother, I don't want to be called a divorcee. And then they just manage and patch and patch and patch. The moment they now get to a place where they are given power, women are given voice. You know, okay, the police can help you, the law of the country can protect you. You are able to stand on your own, you can rent your own place, you can find a job, you know, you can stand on your own and you can actually survive without that man. Then a lot of women say this is the opportunity for payback. Or even if I cannot pay you back, you know what? I'm done with you, I want to delete you. So what are the men doing to the women for them to decide I am done with you? So even as couple, if you are thinking of coming to Europe, United Kingdom, or wherever, you are living Africa where a lot of nonsense are being, you know, allowed, or you can get away with it. That's one thing you should think about. If I'm traveling with my wife or my husband, think, will she be able to pay back, or will our marriage survive? I'll pause and then allow somebody else to speak. Anybody want to chip in? Abula, I think your volume is Mr. Abula. Do you want to say something? Okay, stand up. Anybody wants to add to the discussion? Mommy Desbon, thank you for sharing and liking. Thank you very much. Anybody wants to share? All glory. Mirel, long time no see. Do you want to contribute to marriage pandemic?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. It's a very interesting topic, and you don't get the right recipe
Mm,
for a good marriage. There's no particular recipe. The only thing I would say is when God is in your marriage, when you put God as a center in your home, the challenges that would come, definitely there'll be challenges, there'll be arguments, there'll be quarrel, up to the point that you'll be thinking this is the end of it. But when God is in it, it makes it much or a little bit easier. Now, let me use United Kingdom because I live in United Kingdom, so I can only speak for United Kingdom, not any other country. I've been here for quite a long time, so marriages in Nigeria, I'm not too sure about it because I really don't know how it works because I never got married in Nigeria in the first place. Marriages in UK, one of the factors that I can say is quite trying in marriage in UK is when you have children. What I
okay.
mean is kids. Because we don't have that system, that support from family. Like, and I remember when I was growing up in Nigeria, we had like people looking out, like we had like nannies, we had people that would take you to school. My mom didn't really struggle bringing us up because she had so much people around us. And that was how we grew up. We just believed that is how it should be. But coming to UK and start having kids is two different things. The only people I would say enjoys it a little bit is when you have um, family members like your mom, your mother-in-law, or family or cousins, or you invite them over to specifically stay with you to look after your children. Then I would say the burden is a little bit easy. But
Mm,
when you are in places, there are so many places in United Kingdom that you can only be like 10, the percent of black people can only be like 1% or even half.
mm,
So you're surrounded by whites, your neighbors are white, Asians. You don't even have anyone that you can trust your child with. So imagine a mother who is a full-time mom who doesn't have anybody helping her. We
mm.
all know, at least we are all mothers here, most of us are. And by God's grace, at least you can bear me witness of at least the first 6 months of being a new mom, how
The first
difficult
10
it is.
years. The first 10 years, not 6 months.
So you have a child, you've not slept.
Mm,
You don't know what sleep is like for the past 3 weeks. and you have a very hardworking husband who works long hours, crazy shifts, that he can only be home for like 2, 3 hours maximum and he's off again. And you're not wicked. You can't tell the man, okay, that 3 hours that you're supposed to sleep or 6 hours, please leave that your sleep and come and help me with the child. Because you know he's providing. You know he also needs his sanity just as you need it. So I think as women we would put our own mental health and our life on hold while we cater for every other person, our husband and our children. Now, over time, this thing builds, and before you know, it erupts. Because imagine a new mom who hasn't slept for so long. She's bombarded by the child. The husband is barely home, nobody to talk to. She's surrounded by white people that she doesn't have any support. You can imagine how much that woman is carrying. And I will tell you that a little tip of any problem can tip that woman over that she might not even know when
This
she's
can
tired of her
escalate.
marriage and then she's walking out of it. Because people will be saying, but why? Your husband is hardworking. And because people tend to put on hardworking husband. That is the bare minimum. Let's be honest. A husband's supposed to provide for his home. It starts from, if we go by the Bible, that is how God started it in the Bible. Husbands, he created first before he created Eve. So husbands are meant to prepare start the foundation while the woman is there to help. So when people keep saying, oh, but your husband is hardworking, we thank God for hardworking husbands. But mind you, we have a woman who is trying to build up the home single-handedly with her thinking, with her mindset, with her mental health, with her tears, with everything. And before we know, this woman is, because sometimes some men don't even know their wives are depressed, especially when they just had a new baby. Some men don't know what is postpartum depression. The woman can be dying there, but he would not even know because he hardly see or speak to her. And before you know, one day this woman is fed up and she says, you know what, I'm done. And she walks out of her home. But I'm not saying it happens to everybody, but I'm just saying those are the things as well that contribute to the pandemic in marriages. So I just hope what I'm saying makes sense, or if it has ever happened to
Hundred
anyone.
percent makes sense. 100%.
Yes,
And
so
that has nothing to do with people just moving into United Kingdom. Actually, you could have been here for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years before you now get married. You now have your sister have your children. These things happen. It happens. The reason why, like me, you broke it down already. The woman needs somebody to talk to, but the husband is also providing from there. So it's a difficult one. But then for marriages to work in any part of the world, actually, more also for us that are moving from our comfort zone, moving from our family and our kindred, one has to be more intentional. Thank you for the gifts, Desmond. God bless you, ma. Thanks for the gifts. Please more gift, more roses. Let us start
Hello,
contributing.
hello. I just want to contribute my
Okay, go
2%
on.
of it.
Go on.
Uh, I would say that marriage to work, you have to be communication, you have to be understanding, you have to be trustworthy. Because looking at out now, even though sometimes I ask myself that, is it marriage still working or people are just pretending? Because there's so much happening. So even in the Christian fold, you would think that, oh, you married this fearful husband, Abby. That's how I would put it. That this person, because you marry because maybe the fear of God is there. Maybe you won't do one or two things that you cannot imagine. But that's where the that's where maybe we are wrong sometimes. With years now, I learned a lot that even I don't. I'm just scared. I'm just scared with things that men are doing for women out here, because somebody may say his own is okay, doesn't know that what another person is passing through and for the sake of marriage. So I would say that I don't know. Maybe it still exists some men that is truthful. It still exists some men that loyal, or like if you are with your husband, you are communicating. You don't just let all the burden for the woman to do, and you are just like, yes, I'm the husband by name. Or it's nothing to do that moving to somewhere. I did move from European country to one European country, so I don't think it's something to, it's something that with the time they just change by themselves. I don't know, it's by themselves. If I would say that I have the fear of God. If not, I would have been very bitter with men. But I still look that God creates some good people outside there. But there's some people that don't even deserve to be into marriage. I'm so sorry. But what can we do? But it won't change my own personality as a woman. I will still remain the person I am. But
Very
if I
important.
start narrating my own story, I don't even, it's not that, don't say because this person will use and abuse you with it. No, I will say it out so that they will maybe learn from it. That don't see all these people are that, okay, I'm a baby because I'm a celestial, as you know. See, so don't see this person is a shepherd or is a prophet. This thing is nice or it's like, oh, no, all are men. They are men. Their ego is sometimes. Some other men, their ego, they like when you caress that their ego. That when they do something wrong, you applaud them. Oh, no, 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 no. No. I believe in marriage that where there's communication, everything work well. So I'm tired. What can I do for you? I see that you do 12-hour shift. Oh, can I help you here? What the children? I did night shift. Oh, who am I taking to school to relieve you? Because we may work opposite hour. So how can I help you? I believe that as a woman, as a woman, as my mother taught me well, you have to be like, you have to be there for your husband. You have to do your duty as a wife, as a mother. You know, it means that I won't starve you with your food. I won't starve you for what I know that is my own duty. So put your own part as well. Don't just leave all the burden to be a wife for me, to be a mother. I'm the one to take the children to school. What are you doing? Maybe you're doing 9 to 5, but as a medical, I work in the medical field, so I do night, I do days. So how can you help me? I believe that where there's communication, everything work well. And the other part as well, it's not because I'm going to work at night that you will start like calling other people that I don't know, or calling other girlfriend that I don't know. You know, that's why I say that men have to be loyal. So because sometimes you will just say that I'm just tired. I'm feeling that I'm the only one doing everything. Yeah. So you'll be at the back of the door when you're doing everything, even small. Even if the man contribute just 5% of it, the woman will be happy. Anyway, I will be happy. Even you put only 5%, that I see that okay, I'm the one going to work. I'm the one doing this. But you help me by taking our son to school. You helping me by okay, the children come back. You will not say wait your mom to come and give you food. No, at least it's already in the fridge, it's dish there. Take it out and give the children. Don't wait me to come back after 12 hours. I know after 12 hours I have to cook, because sometimes I cook till 2 o'clock in the morning just to make sure you don't lack that food, you don't like this, you don't like that. And when it comes to my own duty as a woman, even if I'm tired, yeah, I will contribute my own 0.5%, but making you understand that I'm tired, oh dear. Okay, maybe we can do this. I will talk to you. But there's some men out there, they will just put everything. If you put everything for one woman, I'm not saying we are more the same way. But if you put everything for somebody as a human being, the next thing is that I'm tired of everything. The person will be tired, to be sure. So that is it. That my 2% was like marriage should be communication. You
Thank you so
understand
much.
each other.
Thank
You
you very much,
understand,
Maria.
that is it.
I
That's my
can see that you are talking from with passion. May
ah.
the Lord heal all of us and comfort.
Sir, I go through a lot, so that's my
Thank
own.
you.
So
God
because
is
of that, because of even marriage, I relocate to United States.
I
I'm
know.
no more in the UK. I relocate because of marriage. What am I running to? From pillar to pillar. Who am I running to? I'm not running for nobody, but to have that peace of mind, because it's too much. Okay,
God
sis.
bless you. God bless. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
for your
much. You're welcome.
contribution. And from what Mirella just said, it answers a lot of what Oglory said earlier on. So I don't think I need to repeat that. So even when the man is only has 3 hours to spend in a house, which is little to nothing, the woman still wants how are you? Are you okay? How is everything? And there's not how busy you will be at work. There's break time. There will be time where you can run to the toilet and be able to chat with your woman. Is everything okay? How are the children? How are you coping? Communication. The woman feels she's being carried along. She's not just there like a house help or a piece of furniture in the house. She feels, being appreciated, being spoken to, and she can share her burden and share her daily experience with the man. And that also gives her closure. That takes away loneliness. At some point, I keep saying I'm gonna talk about this topic, but it's gonna come up very soon anyway, which is you're married and yet you're single. And that is what a lot of people are going through. You're married, yet you feel like you are in this marriage alone. You feel really, really single. But that gap can be closed by communication. So even you're at work, you can test, even if you cannot call. Hey, babe, how are you doing? How are you? Husband, test your husband too. The husband also wants to be talked to. We all need it. We all need it. We are all human beings and we all need to be able to talk to someone. It's very, very important. Thank you very much for that. Anybody else wants to come up? So people are already handling some of my topics, so I don't need to go back on that. Anybody else wants to chip in? Brother John, are you able to speak?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I just rounded up the program I came to do in Ikorodu. So I finish on time because I don't want to miss that whole
Thanks for
program.
joining. God bless you.
Yeah, when you say living abroad, Abi, that was the topic?
Yeah, marriage.
Diaspora marriage,
Yes,
Abi.
have crashing down, breaking, separation, divorce rates going skyrocketing.
Well, I would say even here in Nigeria, there are people that are still living diaspora marriage in Nigeria.
What does that mean?
Okay. People say diaspora marriage that they don't really have time, this and this and this. Some people will tell you the way they live abroad, is in two ways. I tell people, number one, that you are married does not mean that as a man you have rulership over your wife completely. We are meant to help. We are meant to help each other. We are meant to help each other. And when you say that there are people that are married, yet they are single, yes, it all boils down to the purpose of the marriage.
Purpose.
What was the purpose behind the marriage? That's why the Bible says, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother. What was the reason of cleaving together? Was the reason cleaving together was so strictly be the mother of my children and take care of my children? Some people are like that. When the purpose of the man cleaving was be the mother of my children and take care of them. So there is nothing like communication. The only communication we have is for me to get you pregnant and you take care of them. That is one side of communication. That is it. So what is the reason behind that? Some people get married just for you to just come and be taking care of their parents, and you may also be feeding for them.
That's a glorified house help.
Exactly. So some people marry a glorified house help in the name of wife. You understand? So, and that's why I say people marry for different purposes, and you see a man who does not help the wife at home will definitely have a divorce when they leave the country.
Bam.
A man who felt that he will never help a wife in house church, the time bomb sitting to explode. The woman is just looking for opportunity. In fact, she will even help you and arrange your children for you to understand the need for your children to go abroad. She will be doing everything possible to make you understand that there is need for us to go to diaspora. By the time both of you get there, if the
she will show you Pepe.
If the marriage lasts 6 months, if the marriage lasts 6 months, thank God for your life. But if the system from day one here, both of you are living together, understanding that, I was telling you one day, I said, it will be an insult for a man and a woman to come back tired together, and the man is complaining that he's hungry. Me and you go out, two of us enter the same house. Or, for instance, the man stay at home. The woman has gone to work. She just walked in, and the man is complaining that he's hungry. They break a hand. Didn't know if he enter kitchen.
Even wait. On that note, I'm gonna be a bit sympathetic or understanding with men. And naturally, there are some men who don't have any kitchen skill, and it is not their fault. Okay, but such men can also meet their wife halfway. Like in the case where they are just coming in, they are both tired, he can buy food, or they can go out and eat outside. So that takes a lot of stress and relief for the woman.
Yes. You see, let me tell you. I tell people, I say, whenever we're reading Bible, let's read the Bible with understanding. Bible said, he said, first and foremost, he said, two of you submit to one another. First, that's the first submission. First submission is for both man and woman. Then the second submission is now for the woman to now submit to the husband. Man. So what simply means that both of you will first submit to one another. Then the second submission will not be the woman submitting to the rulership of the man. But for everything together, both of you must submit to one another, mean walking in one accord. That is where he said, both of you shall be naked and not be ashamed. Meaning, helping each other to do things. Even though you know some people cook, you know some people boil water, you know some people enter kitchen, tell a story. Of course, now women
to keep her company so she doesn't feel tired and alone. Yes.
But yeah, exactly. My people say, when you see people building house, tell them well done. You are part of people that build the house.
You've encouraged them.
Not that you cross your leg and you are reading newspaper. You understand? You encourage it. You can come in and just help one or two things. Even if to just rinse the plates. Even if to just carry chair and sit. It has a way of encouraging. Not that you go and sit down. At least carry chair, sit down. At least you learn. The one way your man will teach you. Because let me tell you, I tell people, I say, this is how life works. A girl is being groomed, nurtured by her father. And on the day of wedding, her father takes her, give her back to another father. She changed from her father's name to the new father, which is the man. And a man has been groomed by a mother. On the day of the wedding, she hands over the son to another mother, which is the woman. So both of you she's going to be a mother over you. You are going to be a father over her. Because she's your mother, that is why she wants to know what you would like to eat and everything. And sometimes your mother will tell you, come and assist me do something in the kitchen. And you are angry. That is it. Your mother. And your mother will tell you, you don't need to drop this thing here. At least help me and arrange it. Not only time me. Because she's your mother. The moment you are married to her, she becomes your mother. She starts. Every woman is programmed to act like a mother the moment they say I do.
I like that perspective.
No matter how small they are, the motherhood spirit will enter them. You might be. It doesn't matter whether you are 20 or 30 years older than them. It's the spirit. It will come in. That is why they say, Bible says, he that findeth a wife. It does not say he that findeth a girl. So when you find a wife is a mother. So her first assignment is to be a mother over you before she start having children. If your wife cannot be a mother over you, there is no way she can be a mother over the children. If you cannot be a father over your wife, there is no way you can be a father to those children. That's our first assignment as married people. Is for us to father and mother each other first by doing what? Assisting one another, helping one another. So when you understand that, to me, there is nothing there. It's not a big deal. You know, men make big deal out of some certain things and creating problem where there is no problem. And you end up training another toxic somebody for another woman to come and inherit.
Okay, now with this situation is on board now, Brother John.
Yes.
Let us narrow it down a little bit so that we help people that are just coming into the country. Now,
Yeah.
They have been brought up the way they've been brought up. They have learned what they have learned. Now they found themselves in a new country entirely where things are being done a lot differently. So what advice would you give to couples to be able to manage their marriage so that they don't end up in divorce and the mass separation that is going on?
Okay. First, they said when you go to Rome, you behave like Rome. You behave like Romans. When you go to Italy, you behave like Italians. When you are here in Nigeria, you're behaving like average Nigerian man, Igbo man, or Yoruba man, authoritative and everything. Before you go to any country, before you jump out to any country, understand the culture of those countries first before going there. Because when you get there, the culture might swallow you if you're not careful. Because their culture has become their law. Now, when people find themselves in such environment, whether you like it or not, when you commit any offense, the law of the land will prevail over you. So what do? You start adjusting. As you are planning to Japa, also start adjusting the way of your life. Both of you live your life. Understanding that the right is going to change. The left that you used to say the woman has the left. In that country, she is the right, you are the left. So a lot of times, we jump out the country thinking that we are still doing our right, not knowing that once we move, the right turn the other way around. So when Nigeria get independent, because we want to be free from Britain, we move from right to left. We change from pounds to naira. Is that not what we do? So when you move to a country, you are seeking to become a citizen of that country. Once you get to that, any offense you commit, they are not going to read the law based on Nigerian constitution. They're going to read the law based on that country constitution. So when you decide to go to UK, understand that the pattern of marriage in UK is different from the pattern of marriage in Nigeria.
100%.
So you must have that in your mind. So you see, it baffles me when people say, "Hey, the woman I marry abandoned me, and all this." Okay, ask yourself a question, no? Because you see, they plan all this without first and foremost talk to each other. That is why I tell people, I say, people spend time planning their wedding. They don't have time to talk about their marriage. Marriage have pattern. The pattern of marriage a girl in the village, when the girl come Lagos, is a different pattern though.
She has open eye.
When the girl go to Abuja, na different marriage style though. So marriage changes every day.
Well, the one constant thing anyway about life is change. People change. People evolve.
Exactly. One thing is constant in life is change. So we don't want to change. We'll say, no, we don't want a girl that you now go and marry a village girl and you bring the village girl to London. She will adjust to London. Exactly. She's a Londoner. It's natural. So when young couples are planning to Jabba to wherever, understand their culture. Are you willing? Are you ready to adjust to their culture and to their law? It's important. So if you know you are not ready, don't even go there. Or just carry yourself, marry somebody who has acclimatized with the system and the culture, then start, or maybe go there first. You get used to the system. So marry somebody who is also used to the system. So both of you understand each other. Both of you understand, I'm going to work 8 hours, I'm going to work 6 hours. Not be only one person work.
And then when you are even working, what is the pattern? Your pattern of work, you also need to sit down, discuss it together, and then come to an agreement.
Exactly.
Especially when you now start having children, it changes the narratives again. When it's just the trophy, it's a different ball game. When children come in, it's different again. And then you have to learn to adjust and decide, okay, who's going to be doing the morning shift. Thank God, I mean, here is different. It's not like Nigeria where everybody do 9 to 5. And by 6 o'clock, everybody is closed. By 7, everybody, they are in bed or whatever. So you decide who is doing morning, who is doing afternoon, who is taking the children to school, who is not, you're able to plan that, and that helps a lot. But if like what you said, planning your marriage, not just the wedding, and that is a continuous process. as you grow in life and in your marriage, you need to keep sitting each other down. Okay, this is what is happening now.
Yes.
How do we go about it? And I have couples who do this, and which is beautiful if every one of us can incur it into our lives, which is like when you at the end of the year, people have next year resolution. So they also have plans for their marriage. Now there is plan for what do we want to achieve for the year, individually or collectively. What do we want to achieve in this marriage for our family? So there are individual plans and there are collective plans. So while you are planning a New Year resolution, you're also planning for your marriage.
Exactly.
And there's no way anything you plan for cannot fail. But when we fail to plan, then Jesus is Lord. But John, let me give one or two other people opportunity to speak. Then we'll come back to you.
All right. I'll come back.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you all for joining on. I see Priceless. Thank you, Sister Lovely. Sister Arike, thanks for joining. Anybody wants to contribute to tonight's topic? Marriage pandemic in diaspora. Anybody? Priceless, Lovely, Arike, Mommy Sarah Bobade, God bless you. You want to add, contribute? Okay. If there's no one at the moment, I'm going to look at what's the topic? Marriage pandemic in diaspora. Because a lot of marriage are breaking down, a lot of separation is going on in the United Kingdom, and we're trying to see what are the reasons and the possible solutions to prepare and to build our home. And we've looked at communication, which is very important for any marriage to start with. And okay. And then another one is changing our mindset, which is what Brother John has also been hammering on. Before you decide to japa, prepare your mind. Prepare your mind, understand the country you are going to and how you're going to do things differently. Then another one again is, I think I mentioned it earlier on, there's been series of parents who have also lost their children to social services. I don't know how you've handled or trained or shown love to your children in Nigeria before you come here. And then you come here, you continue to do the same thing you've been doing with them. It's different. Now, one thing we need to understand, and which is 100% true, its reality, is that a lot of things we do not see, we see as the norms, as the normal thing. It's okay. It's the in thing, in Nigeria, and we don't frown at it. Here in the United Kingdom, it's called an abuse. There is series and different high level of abuse that is taking place in Africa. But because we do not know differently, we just live with them. We accept them as the norm, and we just try to make the best of our life as we go on. And the abuse take place not just only on women, also take place on the men and also on the children. But the majority of it is on the children and on the women. And that is why when you come to United Kingdom or United States, and then you see that the law protects the wife and the children, because why? They are vulnerable. They are more vulnerable. Okay, so when they now come here, they now realize, oh, so the way you've been slapping me is an abuse. The fact that you don't give me money to buy food in the house, and you're asking me to use my own money to feed you as the man, to feed my children, is an abuse. They now come to an understanding, they get re-educated. Then they now know, oh, so you've been abusing me. Then they now get strengthened. They get information, they educate themselves, and then they begin to look for ways to protect themselves and their children. And then you, the man, now feels that you're being disadvantaged. Secondly, a lot of women now realize that they can be dependent on themselves. I mean, why do they need you as a man if they can afford to get everything themselves? So a woman who is dependent on herself, who is able to cater for her needs, she can buy her own car, she can pay for her rent, she has a good job, why does she need you? She needs you for friendship, she needs you for companionship, not for your money, because she can get all that by herself. But a lot of men now feel, oh, so because you're not in UK, because you're not making small money, you think you can be rude to me. This woman has moved on. She has stepped up. So the man also has to step up. I've had to cancel 2 men who like, oh, because I don't have a job at the moment, me that I used to control everything at home, now my wife is talking nonsense to me. She's being rude. Even yesterday, she didn't greet me. I'm like, you're being petty. The first thing you need to understand is that you are not just the breadwinner anymore. Both of you are breadwinners. Things have to change. And if you're having low self-esteem now, it didn't just start. You've had low self-esteem back in Nigeria. But because you are the one dishing out the money, it's not showing. Now that the table has turned, now other hidden character is coming out and you're feeling insecure because why? Your wife is doing better. Maybe she's the one that has the CCSO, they call it, and you are the dependent. And she coming in, she's already working. Probably you are still looking for a job. So the table has turned. She's the one now paying the bill. She's the one now feeding you. Now, instead of you to be understanding, adjust your mental. Which English do I want to use now without sounding insulting? Readjust your mindset. And I said, okay, things are like this now. What can I do as a man so that my authority as a man will come back to play? So, okay, for any reason, maybe because of I came in as a dependent, maybe I cannot work. What business ideas do you want to bring in? You have to begin to think, what can I do so that I'll continue to be the man? I continue to have authority. Now, I am not saying that any man should be disrespected because they are not bringing money to the table. No. But what I'm saying is that a lot of men feel insecure because they believe the only power they have is finance, bringing money to the table. But what you have is more than that. And what you can bring to the marriage, to the family, is more than money. And when you come to United Kingdom and places like this, you realize that, oh, I need more than money to sustain my marriage. And then the men begin to struggle because why? The woman does not need your money or is not waiting for your money anymore. So number one is this: how have you treated your children and your wife when you were back home? And now that you are here, what are you doing to maintain your status quo as the head of the family? So as men, change your focus. Your wife is not your problem. No, she is not suddenly being disrespectful. You are the one seeing disrespect because why? You are insecure. Rather, instead of focusing on the woman, and she's trying, even though you're not bringing much, she's doing all she can. Instead of now facing her, making her the enemy, you put your strength and everything into making yourself better. Sister Desmond says, marriage in diaspora or not, couples should have principles, respect to each other, 100%. Thank you, ma, for that. Thanks for joining, Pastor Frank. So you need to step up. Maybe it's just 20 hours you can do. Begin to be creative. I have people who do homework for that. I help people with homework. I have people who came in not too long ago. They already have students. They are teaching lessons. Your talent needs to come into play. What more can I do? Do I even need to go back to school? Have a discussion with your wife, with your husband, with your family. Do you want to do a new course? You want to learn something new? You want to something that will improve you. So it's about you, not about your wife. Then when you come into this country, the way we all scream, even when we are chatting and laughing, people, neighbors will be passing through and they'll be like, are they fighting? That is the way we talk. I remember a couple of months ago, I went to the mechanic with my husband and they were talking. Then 3 days after, I went to the mechanic just by myself. And the mechanic was asking me, is that person your husband? I said, yes, it's my husband. And he was like, but why is he aggressive? Is there any problem? Why is he shouting? And I said, it's not shouting. Are you people fighting? I said, for where you hear that one. I said, no, that's the way we talk. We are not fighting. That's the way we talk. You understand? So they don't understand that's the way we talk. We sound very aggressive, very harsh, and even when we are laughing, we're playing, everything sounds back, 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 back. And then when you come in here, you need to tone it down, especially with your children. They go to school here now. They are being taught something different. They are being taught now that they have rights, which they do. They are being taught that they also have a voice. Back home, when you're talking to children, you expect the children to look down when you are talking to them. But here, they are being taught to look at the eye of the person talking to them. Here, if you're talking to children and they look down, they see it as being disrespect. They see it as you're not listening to them. But when you're talking to a child and the child is looking at you, that means the child is, assimilating, is following, is listening. So there are two different things. So if a child is here and the child is looking at you, be like, I'm talking to you, you're looking at my eye. What nonsense! And you give bosa. So you need to understand where you are. This should not escalate to the point where social service have to be called in and they are taking your children from you. That already will affect your marriage. That will affect your marriage. Because you came here as a family. Now your children, maybe one or two child, has been taken from you. Oh, that marriage, it will take God's grace to keep that marriage together. Because you start blaming each other, you start fighting, it's your fault, it's my fault, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. If care is not taken, it can erupt into anything. On TikTok, Business Desmond says, because couple come to Europe should not change the morals that they have from home. Thank you very much, ma'am. And that's what Brother John was hammering on, that what is the foundation you had back in Nigeria before coming here? If you have a good one, it will come to play here. If you had a bad one, when you get here, it will all be exposed. Maybe you are the one that easily snap at your wife or your friend at your wife, you shout at the children, and they just take it like, Daddy has spoken, what can we do? But when they get here, they get educated that nobody should speak to them like that. And it's called emotional abuse. When you make people to feel so scared, they can't talk, they can't express themselves. I can't go and talk to daddy, I can't talk to mommy, I'm scared. You've abused them emotionally, you've taken away their confidence. So when they get here, they are being taught that is wrong. So when they now come to tell you, daddy, what you are doing, mommy, what you are doing is wrong, you feel they are being disrespectful, they are challenging authority, and things get bad, really, really bad. I didn't bring my children here. I had my children here. Even I had this challenge. But at some point, I told myself, hey, you need to change your mindset. You need to see things from their view, from their perspective. So, from their perspective. Because if I keep saying things from my perspective, I'm never going to get it right. But I now started seeing things from my children's perspective, and I began to understand them more, understand the way they reason, the way they think, and then I realized I need to do a lot of change. I'm an African woman. They might be born by African parents, but they are not Africans. So how much more will you now bring these children here? And children learn quickly. They change quickly. So you need to be careful. You need to, maybe every African, not just parent, every African needs to go and do a study on abuse, family abuse, the different type of abuse, what they look like. The fact that even your husband tells you as a wife, you cannot go to church or you must not talk to this person, it is an abuse. No man or no person should have authority over you to the extent where they restrict you from people. They cut off your social circles. They cut off your friends. Some people will tell you, I don't want you to talk to your family. That is demonic. That is an abuse. When they cut you off your friends and your social ties, then you are dependent on them 100%. And they can abuse you. They can do anything to you. You have nobody to run to. And before you realize, you might have become an emotional wreck. So we need to understand these things. Then there is the financial part of it. When you come to United Kingdom, I think I mentioned that earlier on, that you realize it's not bed of roses like you've been hearing. You suddenly you know easy. It's not as easy as you thought it was. You realize that 90%, no, let me be a bit fair. 60% of your income goes on bills. House rent, council tax, water, TV, internet. You know, if you have a car, petrol, insurance. Before you now even go to food. School uniform, we are not even going to that one, since you don't buy them every month. Dinner money, let's not even count that one self. Your rent alone, if you convert that to Naira, you buy land. 1 month's rent, you will buy land. So we need to adjust. So let's not allow the financial tension to also choke us up. And we also need to learn to be content, have an understanding with yourself. You still have to come back to the drawing board of communicating. My husband, my wife, okay, how do we do this? This is my income. This is your income. This is our bill. Get a pen and paper. We have to pay this. We have to pay that. We have to pay this. This is our income. How do we break it down? And whatever is left, what do we want to do with it? Don't forget that the marriage is not just about you. It's about us. We can't continue to be me. Then there's this other one about family back home. When you come to United Kingdom, family back home are what's the lot to Meji. But I mean, in London, and money that was school fees on money. Please give them a break. They are still trying to find their feet. You know, there's so much demand coming from Africa. Hospital bill, my rent, my food. Things are very expensive now. Send money. Let's give them a break. And you also, as a family, need to decide who we want to support, who we don't want to support. And don't do anything. Don't try to show big manship or trying to impress people back home and put your family in unnecessary stress or predicaments. Don't try to impress anybody back home. I want to show them that I am now Londoner. I want to send pounds. Yet, You don't even know how you're going to pay your council tax, or you are pushing your bills and responsibility upon your wife or upon your husband. Your husband is the husband. You push it on him alone, and then you are only sending your own money to Nigeria. Who do you? I'm sorry, I may be sounding a bit harsh, but it is the truth. Somebody has to say it anyway. Cut off this unnecessary stress. If people are stressing you too much, change your SIM card, though. And look after yourself and your family that you've brought here. I'm not saying abandon your family back home, but you know what is important and what is not important. You know who you should, like your parents. If you have old parents, they don't even need to call you. Both of you as couple also need to agree. How much am I sending to my daddy? How much am I sending to my mommy? But if you have enough, you don't need to sit down to talk about it. You know how much you're giving your daddy, you know how much you are giving your own parents, okay? But then the collective expenses in the family must be agreed upon. Whatever is not left in your hand, spend your money the way you like. You worked for it anyway. It's your money. But whatever you want to do back home in Nigeria must not affect the life you are living here. Must not affect your bills here. You come here and you and then you have, I think Brother John also mentioned it, having different plan, different idea, different focus, different dream. The wife's dream is different from that of the husband. So when you come here, there will be scatter, pepper, whatever. Of course, you're gonna have problem. Now, of course, it mean everybody will have their individual plan. There also has to be the collective plan. And the collective plan comes first. That is what they call marriage. What are we doing? Not what am I doing? So after what are we doing, then you now go to what am I doing? Again and again, please, cut off the pressure from Nigeria, I beg. Do what you can do, but don't kill yourself in the process. Don't let it affect your marriage. Don't let it affect your home. Help back home. Things are tough, but do it according to your ability. I jẹ gbèsè nítorí èèyàn kankan now. Má febi pa ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ nítorí anybody in Nigeria. These are the same people who will mock you when your marriage breaks. These are the same people who will ask you, you went to London after many months, after many years, what have you achieved? They will ask you. So why do you want to kill yourself because of that? Let me pause. I think, what's the time? It was at 9. We have a few more minutes before we wrap it up for the night. So anybody else wants to add, contribute? Anybody wants to add to the discussion tonight? One of the reasons, again, why we're having the rates of divorce going high is because in the community where we are now, it's not frowned upon. Like back home, we have that, you avoid the stigma. But single mother care, single father care, divorcee, camari in you understand? You don't want anybody to call you a divorcee or single parent. So you try to be more tolerating. You know, we put more endurance and sacrifices into your relationship. But here is, it is not working, it's not working. Everybody move on, life continues. Life continues. So that also has caused an increase. And then there's this one, I think it was Brother Mecca that I mentioned it a little bit, where a woman was being advised on Facebook that kick your husband away, the government will help you as a single parent. Yes, we have that also happening. And some women are gullible not to see the bigger picture. But any woman who would easily be lured away with such advice, I can tell you that that woman is not happy in her marriage. If you're happy in your marriage, who will deceive you? Who will tell you a story to leave your husband and go and become a single mother because the government will pay your rent? How much is the money they are giving you, Seth? They give you, you calculate all the money together, you pay your rent, pay your council tax, and that's about it. Is that enough? And are we also forgetting something about this marriage? When we grow old, you're going to be on your own. No. Women, are you thinking? Men, are you thinking? You're going to be on your own. Your children will grow. By the time they're 18, 19, maximum 20, they're out of their house. They're out of the house. Who is going to be your companion at your old age? I have a wonderful uncle, wonderful brother, actually, not uncle, brother, Christian brother, very nice man. And he's not been very lucky with women. And suddenly the Lord blessed him with a beautiful, lovely wife, at his old age. And suddenly he fell sick, really, really bad. And this morning, I was just thinking about it and I'm like, what if God did not give him this woman? How would he have survived at his age with this sickness? We need each other. Money will finish, it is people. We need each other. Your money will not be your companion. From 50 upward, you need somebody. And to some people, they might even become a grandma at an early age self, or grandpa. Depends on when you start having children. Some people at the age of 45, all their children are in uni already, or they've gotten their own accommodation. So you're on your own if you don't have a partner. I'm not saying that is a reason for you to stay in an abusive relationship and let your life and your future and your destiny be messed up. No. But if the situation is manageable, nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. But if it's a situation you can manage it. Don't easily give up. Because of what? It still boils down to, what is the foundation? Why did you get married? Did you get married because you love this person, because you want a future? Or did you get married just because I want to have a child, just because I want to be a Mrs. Lagbaja? All that also comes into play. Thanks for joining, ma.
I'm enjoying it though.
God bless you. That's all right.
Mo láìkí tọ́pìkì yẹn gan ni ojoojúmọ́ ni máa ń sọ fún àwọn tá a máa lọ ń tọ́jú máa dẹ̀ wò wọ́n báyìí ní kí ẹ òun pé ìwọ lọ́hùn á nídìí ara wa gan no mi ì mọ̀ kò sí ni because tó bá ti dọjọ́ ogbó kí wọ́n wá àwọn tó lọ ń tọ́jú tí wọ́n ti divorce ara wọn wọ́n mọ̀ pé wọ́n nídìí ara wọn gan and it's very important companion. So I just love the topic when you brought it up.
Thank you, ma'am. Then we also need to find ways to resolve conflict. But there won't be conflict, we will fight, we will argue. But then, what is the reason behind the argument? And then how do we resolve it? You see, this thing we call ego. As men have it, women also have it. But then if you look at the bigger picture is, what am I going to achieve with this fight? What am I going to get out of it? Will it make me a better person? Will it keep my marriage? Will it give me happiness? Will it keep my home? Àwọn àti eyín with ọjà. The time you sometimes you eating, you bite yourself. Would you, because of that, not eat the next day? No, you will eat. You will eat. So it is important to have a method that works. Each family, we are all unique. Find what works for your home. There's this couple that shared with me that if they are having misunderstanding, and a lot of people will say the best way to solve conflicts for couples is in bed. When you are in bed, you draw close to each other, you have some fun, and then you forget whatever has happened. But He said her husband goes to bed with a short knicker when they're having issues. So it's like, no road, you cannot even trick me with that. Like this fight, oh, we fight it. Like kilo de Toglayeli. Why would a man go to bed with short knicker? Even when the woman is like, come now, you will start gidigba like no action. Say don't even we are still fighting. At the end of the day, what are you going to achieve? So there has to be a way of making peace. When your spouse is saying, I am sorry, either directly or indirectly, because for a lot of men, they have problem, in saying sorry, which is not right. But then we've come to accept it as the norms. I hope men can adjust and be able to say, I am sorry. But peradventure, your husband has other ways of saying sorry. By now, you should know. Maybe it's just like making some odd conversation, or I'm sorry, whatever it is. You by now you know how he says he's sorry. Let it go. Let it go. Does not mean that if the whatever has caused the argument has not been resolved, you can revisit it. But first of all, make peace. Then come back to it. My dear, that thing was causing that brought the argument. Can we look at it again? When the tension is there and all the blah, 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 somebody has to be the goat and somebody has to be the sheep. Meaning somebody has to be calm. If two of you cannot be doing Mike Tyson together, somebody has to be able to let go. Anybody else wants to come in? Mommy Sarah, I've not heard your voice, yo. Mojo Ludemi, thanks for joining. Lorraine, Anna, thanks all for joining. Sami Tuku, Segi, all these names on TikTok. I don't know. Segi say yes. Seg Sheyi Del. How do I pronounce that? Thanks for joining. Anybody wants to contribute to marriage pandemic in United Kingdom? So far from all we've been discussing, it's boiled down to foundation. How have you guys been before you move to United Kingdom? Number 2, changing your mindset. Number 3, communication, planning things together. Number 4 is your finance, managing your finance. Don't let your finance get into your marriage. Don't let your financial problem affect your marriage. Number 4, number 5, learn to ask for help. Learn to ask for help in your local community. Join a church, join a mosque. You understand? You need it. If you are just coming into the country, it is well, man. If you are just joining the country, join a church, join a mosque. You need it. You need people. If you need advice, they can tell you, they can pinpoint and be a billboard. Go this way, go that way, call this number, talk to this person. They can advise you. You need a childminder in your church, your mosque is your local community. You can always find somebody around who can advise you. I need a childminder. Does anybody know? I need a job. Do you know any vacancy anywhere? I need a furniture for my house. I'm looking for one room to stay. I need a house. Does anybody know? You need help. So don't be an island in a country where you don't know people. And if you are lucky to have family, also ask for help. Also ask for help. Mommy Babade, you are learning. Haba, you are grandma. Oh. You don't want to share your knowledge with us. What happens? I've been talking for 1 hour, 30 minutes, and I did not get even one gift on TikTok. Not even one flower. Now, so I bad rich. Not one flower. E. No flower, no gift, no star, no egg. Come on, that's already aeroplane long. I'm versing now. Thank you for all the likes. Our like reached 3,000. That is not bad, but then when I give me gift now, 1 hour 30. If I go and work 1 hour 30 minutes per hour, thank you all for joining and for contributing. May the Lord keep and uphold us, keep all our homes in Jesus' name. It is never too late to go back to the drawing board. It is never too late to have discussions. It is never too late to unlearn and to learn new things. It is never too late. And as parents, we also need to learn to say, I am sorry to our children. By saying that to them, we make them feel valued. We give them a lot of boldness and to be able to face challenges of life. We help them to have resilience to face challenges in life. Number one. Number two, it also helps them to know how to say sorry as well. Because they hear sorry from their mom. If my mom can tell me sorry, my daddy can tell me sorry. It won't be a big deal to say sorry to my wife. It won't be a big deal to say sorry to my husband. So all the nonsense we do is what we've learned. But we can unlearn it and learn new things. Please don't tell me it's too late. Don't tell me you are too old. Mbano. Except if you don't want to learn. And the more the more you are rigid, the more you're going to have problem. It is the truth, but a bitter one. Brad John says we have laws in Nigeria too. Oh yes, and especially we have a lot of NGOs coming up, to protect women and children. And how come it's women and children they are protecting? What is happening with the men? So is it the men that are just giving the women and children palaver? Kilo shele men. May the Lord help us. But John, do you have anything else to add before we wrap it up tonight? Johnny Walker.
Yeah. Yes. As per the law, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As per the law, there are laws that protect men. There are laws that protect women. There are laws that protect children. You see, when you go for your marriage counseling during court registry, all these things are being read. You see, a lot of time we pretend as if these things doesn't exist because we always like to play. We always like to dodge under tradition, and forgetting that law supersedes tradition. Except is a place where there is no law. So all these things, there are laws. Even when you beat your child, there's a law. It's only when you beat your child and that child find its way to police station that you know there is a law. I remember in those days, when a child commit, they would take the child to police station to go and flog. So you see, the problem is that the people that are meant to keep the law are also guilty of the offense. You understand? So that's why it looks as if, one thing will just lose, something will just happen, people just overlook it. Is that until you jam somebody who is ready to press for his or her rights, then you know that Nigeria also actually have all these laws that protect women in a toxic relationship, in abusive and everything. There are very strong law. So what Lagos State is doing now is to make sure they enforce it. Not that the law, they amended it and now they are enforcing it. Those laws are there, even under federal government. It's just that the people that are supposed to enforce, they are also guilty, and so the whole thing is just quiet somehow.
And then they know how to sweep everything under the carpet.
A lot of women knows about this. Under tradition. So the thing is that we marry under law, then we play pranks under tradition. So when we now travel outside the country, we want to bring tradition into the matter. So that's the problem.
Thank you very much, Brother John. So the law is there to help us. The law is there to protect us. And it is not only women that are being abused. Men are also abused. Now, and who was telling me a story of a man? Okay, I remember now. A man who brought a woman from Nigeria, married her, she settled, trained her in nursing, she got a good job, and she built 2 houses in Nigeria without telling the man. And throughout her schooling, her working, building house and everything, she did not contribute a penny to the house bills. How wicked can that be? If when the man is complaining and did this, she just ignores. She built 2 houses in Nigeria. She bought a house here in London. And when the man said, listen, I've had enough, let's divorce, let everybody go their way. Even in the court, she now tried to even take their house. The man has been paying rent for like 5 years. She tried and started fighting to take that house away from the man. To the point where the judge is like, how wicked can you be? The only house this man has, you want to take it from him. So when we talk about a woman being abused, we also have it. Men are also abused. Men are cheated. Men are used. You know, so in our loving, we also need to borrow ourselves some brain. You know, protect yourself even while you're loving, because like the Bible says that the heart of a man is terribly wicked. Who can know it? And that was why Muriel was saying, is there anything like love against self? All this marriage self, is there any reason to it self? And that is why we see a lot of our children now saying like, I'm not interested in marriage. Because they see that there's a lot of lies, a lot of wickedness in the hearts of people. When they profess love to you, and at some point, although of course there is a foundation to every problem, but if it's not dealt with properly, instantly, and be done with it, then things will escalate. You know, but then if you are a wicked person, you're a wicked person. If you're a nice person, you're a nice person, no matter what has happened. I'll wrap up with this. Let us also have empathy. It is not everybody that has empathy naturally. Some people is natural, automatic with them. But let us also learn to be empathic. And one of the ways we can learn it, if you do not have it naturally, is to see things from other people's perspective. If your husband is saying, my dear, I cannot afford to buy this thing now, don't go on like, what do you mean you cannot buy it? Try and see it from where is it coming from? Why is he saying what he is saying? So you are trying to see it from his eyes, from his glass, from his point of view, and that brings out your empathy. If your wife is saying, my dear, I'm tired, I can't cook tonight. Don't say, what do you mean? It's your job. My friend, go and cook for me. I need my food here in the next 20 minutes. You're not being empathetic. But when you see it, she has gone for the past few hours, and then she's been standing. She did not say she was tired yesterday. She did not say that 2 days ago. If she's saying she's tired now, there must be some truth in it. And then, you know, okay, what do we do? What can we eat? Is there anything? Do we buy? That shows your empathy, compassion. And if you put that in our daily lives, it will help us. So it will go a long way. May the good Lord help us from the little we've shared tonight. It is easy. We will not say it is not easy. It is easy. We can do it. We can be that change. You know, we can be that change, especially for the next generation. We can be that change. May the good Lord help us. Good night. Love you all. Stay blessed and keep sharing love, showing love, give love, but be wise, be smart, and be diligent. God bless you and good night. Bro Johnny, Mommy Sarah, good night all.